So, if you clicked on this video, you know or at least have an idea on what class you want to play in Lost Ark PvP. But then the next big question is, what is the best build? So in today's video I will answer that question for all 15 classes. So for each and every single class I will show you the best PvP build with the right abilities you want to use. Then as well I will tell you what awakening skill you want to get. Then on top of all this, even how much points you want to spend in your stats page. And then lastly, for each build I will give you 2 basic ability combos for 1v1s and 3v3 arenas. So you can just simply copy the build and learn how to play it. So if all this sounds interesting to you, then let's get straight into it. Okay, so this how PvP builds work part is specifically made for only beginners, because I will be explaining how to find PvP arena, where and how to put your abilities on your character, what specifically for PvP you need to do to unlock the awakening skill, and much more. So if you're a new player, then watch this tutorial for a minute or two, or if you already know the basics of how PvP builds work, then you are feel free to go straight for each class build. So at around level 26, by completing the main quest, you will unlock the Coliseum, aka the PvP arena, and you can find it in the Lutheran Castle. Or if you have already unlocked it, then you can access it here in the widgets bar. So what we do now is click on the board, and here we have the PvP arena in the different game modes. And before being able to play them, you want to make a PvP build, which you can do by clicking on the fighter's diary, and then make sure that you have selected arena here in the top left corner. And now you can make a build. So then when in the next 60 seconds I'm starting to show different builds for different classes, when I refer to stat points, you want to type the exact same numbers I'm showing you here. Then in the skill section you click on open and bunch of abilities will appear. So when I tell you for example to spend 10 skill levels in Cutting Blades ability, and then select Divide Attack, River Rotation and Triple Spin, then you find the same ability, click this plus sign 10 times and select Divide Attack, River Rotation and Triple Spin. And then lastly, to get the ability on your skill bar, all you have to do is drag and drop them in whichever slot you want, and then you repeat the same things for all 8 abilities, besides the V slot, which is your ultimate ability called the Awakening skill. So for you to find your Awakening skills, all you have to do is drag this bar to the end, and here in big letters you can find 2 awakening skills. For each build I will tell you to use the first or the second skill. So if I tell you to use the Supernova awakening skill, you drag and drop it in the V slot, and then lastly, to actually be able to use the awakening skill, you will need 1 chaos shard for every single time you use the skill. So what you want to do is open your map and find any general merchant. And then in the Lutheran Castle, the closest is this merchant. So I go to him and right here buy these chaos shards for 250 silver each. This price is very low and I usually buy around 50 to 100, as silver is the easiest currency to get. So you can just right click on the items as many times as you want, then click buy, and that's it. As long as the shards are in your inventory, you'll be able to use your awakening skills in the arena. I personally don't understand why in Lost Ark we have this mechanic, but it is what it is. Okay, so now with the most basic things out of the way, let's go over to the best PvP builds for every single class. So then moving over to the first one, which is the best Berserker PvP build. And these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, you want to spend 7 skill levels in the Shouldering Charge ability, and then select the Excellent Mobility and the Chain Charge passives. Then for the second ability we have the Red Dust, and you want to spend 10 skill levels and get the Nimble Movement, the Blood Slash and the Red Wave. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the Tempest Slash, and you want to spend 10 skill levels and unlock the Nimble Movement, Enchanted Strike and the Driving Hit. Then the next ability is the Diving Slash, and this time you want to spend 7 skill levels and unlock the Excellent Mobility and the Swift Move. Then for the fifth ability we have the Mountain Crash, and we spend 10 skill levels and unlock Enchants, Numbing Effect and the Earth Impact. Then the next one is the Finishing Strike ability, and you spend 10 skill levels and unlock Tenacity, Finishing Blow and the Kill Confirm passives. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Sword Storm, and you spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the Nimble Movement, Tenacity and the Earthquake Wave. And then lastly we have the Windblade ability, and you spend 10 skill levels and get the Quick Preparation, Enchanted Strike and the Wind Swift. Then for your awakening skill you want to get the Chain of Vengeance, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 316 domination and 933 swiftness. And then on top of all this is your main basic PvP combo, and that's about it. So then the second class is the Paladin build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, on the charge ability, you want to spend 10 skill levels and get the excellent mobility, then the shining protection, and then the ambush attack. Then for the next ability, we have the holy protection, and you want to spend 10 skill levels and unlock the swift fingers, robust protection, and the web of lights. Then for the third ability, we have the God Sent Law, and you want to spend again 10 skill levels and get the shield, wide angle attack, and the grace. Then the next one is called the Executioner's Sword, and this time you only spend 4 skill levels and unlock this quick pace. Then afterwards spend 10 skill levels on the Wrath of God ability and select the Wide Thunder Stroke, then the Thunder and the Light's Guardian. Then for the next ability we have the Execution of Justice skill, and you spend 10 skill levels and unlock Forward Attack, Strength Release, and the Light's Explosion. Then for the 7th ability we spend another 10 skill levels and select the Propulsion, then the Vital Point Strike, and then the Condensed Energy. And lastly we spend 10 skill levels in the Heavenly Blessing ability and get the Agile Cast, then the Perseverance, and the Heavenly Requiem. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Alitinous Judgment, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 316 Domination, and 933 Swiftness. And then on top of all this is your main basic PvP combo, and that's about it. So then the third setup is the Gunlancer build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all you want to spend 10 skill levels in the Bash ability, and then unlock the Armored Destruction, Ready Attack, and then the Echo. Then for the second ability we have the Shield Charge, and you spend 10 skill levels and get the Quick Preparation, Wide Strike, and the Unbending Attack. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the Dash Upper Fire, and this time you only spend 4 skill levels and get the Excellent Mobility. Then the next one is called the Hook Chain, and you spend 10 skill levels and get the Quick Preparation, Shackles, and the Wide Strike. Then for the fifth ability we have the Nelacious Energy, and we spend another 10 skill levels and get the Quick Preparation, Effectiveness, and Survive. Then the next one is the Gunlancer Shot ability, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Tenacity, Enchanted Strike, and the Exploding Spear. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Counter Gunlancer skill, and you spend 10 skill levels and get the Ready Attack, Quick Preparations, and the Lightning Strike Spear. And then lastly we have the Surge Cannon ability, and you spend your last 10 skill levels and get the Piercing Shot, Precious Shelling, and the Focus Fire. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Lance of Judgment, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 Specialization, and 1000 Swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 main basic combos, and that's about it. So then for the next class we have the Striker build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first things first, you want to spend 10 skill levels in the Sleeping Ascent Celebration ability, and then get the Wide Strike, then the Quick Preparation, and the Leaf Sweep. Then for the second ability we have the Lightning Whisper, and you spend 4 skill levels and get the Lightning Blessing. Then moving over to the third ability, which is called the Berserker Circle, and you spend 10 skill levels and unlock the Wide Strike, Upright, and the Glacial Explosion. Then the next ability is called the Lightning Tiger Strike, and we spend another 10 skill levels and get the Single Strike, Tenacity, and the Consecutive Kick. Then for the fifth ability we have the Storm Dragon Awakening, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Excellent Mobility, Easy Target, and then the Fallen Flower Gag. Then the next one is the Lightning Kick ability, and we spend 10 skill levels and unlock the Sharp Movement, Intense Shock, and the Flash Lightning. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Moon Flash Kick ability, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Intense Shock, then the Excellent Mobility, and Full Moon Kick. And then lastly we have the Sweeping Kick ability, and we spend our last 10 skill levels and get the Weak Potion Detection, Light of Justice, and the Pure Excellence. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the True Heavenly Awakening, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 Domination, and 1000 Swiftness. And then on top of all this is your main basic PvP combo, and that's about it. So then moving over to the fifth one, which is the Wardancer build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, on the Sleeping Ascent Celebration ability, you want to spend 10 skill levels and get the Wide Strike, Quick Preparations, and the Leaf Sweep. Then for the next ability we have the Call of the Wind God, and you have to spend 10 levels and then select the Lightning Storm, Over Revolution and Raging Storms. Then for the third one we have the Wind's Whisperer ability, and we again spend 10 skill levels and get the Oath of Wind, Warrior's Courage and the Super Wind. Then the next one is ability called Phoenix Advent, and you spend 10 skill levels and get the Wide Strike, Freeze effect and the Nimble movement. Then afterwards spend 4 more levels on the Sky Shattering Blow and unlock the Excellent Mobility. Then for the next ability we have the Lightning Kick, and we spend 10 skill levels and unlock the Sharp Movement, Intense Shock and the Flash Lightning. Then for the 7th ability called the Moon Flash Kick, we spend another 10 skill levels and get the Intense Shock, Excellent Mobility and Full Moon Kick. And then lastly we spend 10 more skill levels on the Energy Combustion ability and select the Combustible Armor, Skill Reduction and then the Last Whisper. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Fist of Dominance, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 domination and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 main basic PvP combos, and that's about it. Then for the next class we have the Scrapper build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first things first, you want to spend 10 skill levels in the Charging Blow ability, and then get the Excellent Mobility, Destroyer and the Dead Band. Then for the second ability we have the Jagged Advent, and we spend another 10 skill levels and unlock the Excellent Mobility, Tenacity and Great Destruction. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the Chain Destruction Fist, and we want to spend 10 skill levels and get the Endless Rage, Tenacity and lastly the Great Explosion. Then the next ability is called the Death Rattle, and we spend 10 skill levels and select the True Sight, Tenacity and Shock Explosion. Then afterwards for the fifth ability we have the Instant Hit, and we spend again 10 skill levels and get the Wide Strike, Precision and Tracking Instinct. Then the next one is the Roundup Sweep ability, and we spend 10 skill levels and unlock the Single Strike, Circumstantial Judgment and Reinforced Strike. Then for one of the last abilities we have the one and only Fierce Tiger Strike, and this time we spend 4 skill levels and get the Amplified Damage. And then lastly we have the True Rising Fist ability, and we spend our last 10 skill levels on unlocking the Lightning Fist, Air Raid and the Dragon's Fury. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Undefeated Dragon King, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 specialization and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 main basic PvP combos, and that's about it. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Soulfist PvP build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, on the Venomous Fist ability you want to spend 10 skill levels and select the Hard Hitter, Successful Change and Instant Attack. Then for the next ability we have the Heavenly Squash, and we spend again 10 skill levels and unlock Hard Hitter, Harsh Training and Enormous Palm. Then for the third ability we have the Magnetic Palm ability, and we spend 7 skill levels and get the Sturdy Armor and Tenacity. So then the next ability is called the Tempest Blast, and you spend 10 skill levels and get the Song of Time, Harsh Training and Demolition. Then afterwards spend another 10 skill levels on the Force Orb and select the Enchanted Speed, Powerful Wave and Scattering Wave. Then for the next ability we have the Flash Step, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Excellent Mobility, Victory Shout and Tireless. Then for the 7th ability we have the Energy Release, and this time we spend only 7 skill points and then select the Fighting Spirit enchantment and the Energy Release enchantment. And then lastly we spend the last 10 skill levels on the Deadly Finger ability, and we get Divide Strike, Burning Hands and Lightspeed Burst. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Annihilating Ray, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 specialization and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this is your main basic PvP combo, and that's about it. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Gunslinger build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first things first, you want to get the Quick Step ability and spend 7 skill levels, and then afterwards select the Excellent Mobility and Tenacity. Then for the next ability we have the Dual Buckshot, and this time we spend 4 skill levels and unlock the Swift Fingers. Then for the third ability we have the Spiral Flame, and we spend again just 4 skill levels and unlock this one Quick Aim passive. Then the next one is the ability called Catastrophe, and we want to spend 10 skill levels and get the Tenacity, Defenseless and Carpet Bombing. Then afterwards spend 10 skill levels on the Deadfire ability and then get Tenacity, Chain Throw and Infiltrate Decimation. Then for the next ability we have the AT-02 Grenade, and we spend 7 skill levels and select Divide Explosion and Freeze Grenade. Then for the 7th ability we have the Spiral Tracker, and we spend just 4 skill levels and unlock this one Swift Fingers. Then for the next ability we have the Bullet Rain, and we spend again 4 skill levels and get this one AoE Fire passive. So then taking a closer look at the next one, which is the Dexterous Shot, and one last time we spend 4 skill levels and get this Agile Movement. Then for the next ability we have the Summer Assault Shot, and we want to spend 10 skill levels and unlock the Agile Movement, Master of Evasion and Super Armor. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Last Request, and we spend again 10 levels and select the Quick Preparation, Execution and Volley. Then afterwards let's spend 10 more skill levels in the Focus Shot ability and unlock the Quick Aim, Enchanted Bullet and Quick Finish. Then the next ability is called the Peacekeeper, and we spend 7 skill levels and get the Excellent Mobility and Anti-Air Shot. And then lastly we spend our last 7 skill levels in the Perfect Shot ability and get the Stable Stance and Perfect Aim. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the High Caliber HE Bullet, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 domination and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 basic skill combos, and that's about it. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Artillerist build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, on the Howitzer ability you want to spend 10 skill levels and then get the Armor Destruction, Opportunist and Firework. Then for the second ability we have the Air Raid, and we spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the Quick Fire, Lightning, Bombardment and the Big One passive. Then for the third ability we have the Flamethrower, and we spend 10 skill levels and select the Vital Point Attack, Ranged Flame and Incinerate. Then the next ability is called the Swing, and we spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the Quick Attack, Advanced Strike and Stunner. Then afterwards spend 10 more skill levels on the Energy Field, and then get the Firepower, Concentration, Energy Increase and Solid Shield. Then for the next ability we have the Gatling Gun, and we spend 10 skill levels and select the Quick Preparation, Tenacity and Aimed Shot. Then for the 7th ability we have the Napalm Shot, for which we only spend 4 skill levels and get this one Wide Explosion passive. And then lastly we spend our last 10 skill levels on the Homing Barrage and then unlock the Guiding Enchantment, Weak Potion Detection and Power Bomb. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Heavy Turret, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 domination and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this, this is your main PvP combo, and that's about it. So then taking a closer look at the next class, which is the Deadeye PvP build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all you want to spend 7 skill levels in the Enforce Execution ability and then get the Excellent Mobility and Tenacity. Then afterwards we spend the second ability called the Spiral Flame, and this time we just send 4 skill levels and get the Quick Aim. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the Catastrophe, and we want to spend 10 skill levels on selecting the Tenacity, Defenseless Target and Carpet Bombing. Then the next ability is the Deadfire, and we spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the Tenacity, Chain Throw and Infiltrate Decimation. Then for the 5th ability we have the AT-02 Grenade, and we use just 7 skill levels and unlock both of these Ranged Throw and Freeze Grenade. Then the next one is called the Dexterous Shot, and we spend 4 skill levels and get this Agile Movement. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Summer Assault Shot, and we spend 10 skill levels and then select the Agile Movement, Master of Evasion and Super Armor. So then for the next ability we have the Last Request, and we spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the Quick Preparation, Execution and Volley. Then moving over to the next one, which is called the Aimed Shot, and we spend another 10 skill levels and get the High Speed Bullet, Stun Effect and High Speed Shot. Then the next ability is called the Quick Shot, and we spend one of our last 4 levels and then get this one Repulse passive. And then lastly we have the last ability called the Perfect Shot. So we spend these 4 skill levels and select the Stable Stance, Perfect Aim and Enchanted Shot. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Clay Bombardment, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 316 domination and 933 swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 basic gameplay combos, and that's about it. Okay, so then moving over to the next build, which is the best Sharpshooter PvP build. And these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, you want to spend 10 skill levels in the Salvo ability, and then select the quick pace, arrow, blanket, and stealthy movement. Then for the second ability, we have the atomic arrow. And this time we spend 7 skill levels and get the magic control and heavy bomb. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the charge shot, and we spend 10 skill levels and unlock the quick preparation, double shot, and fast fire. Then the next ability is called the moving slash, and we spend 10 more skill levels and unlock the ignore, collision, repulse, and survival. Then for the fifth ability we have the blade storm, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the ranged hit, poison blade, and shadow dance. Then the next one is called the claymore mine ability, and you spend 10 skill levels and unlock the swift fingers, Thunderbolt, and Storm Surge. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Stalker skill, and we spend this time 7 levels and then select the excellent mobility and tenacity. And then lastly we have the Snipe ability, and we spend our last 10 skill levels and get the Insight, Perfection, and Easy Prey. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Golden Eye, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 domination, and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this is your main basic PvP combo, and that's about it. So then moving over to the support class, which is the best Bard PvP build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, on the Prelude of Storm ability, you want to spend 10 levels and select the quick preparation, wide angle attack, and lightning concentration. Then for the second ability we have the Soundholic, and we spend again 10 levels and get the raid, sustain, enchantment, and focus fire. Then for the third ability we have the Rhythm Buckshot ability, and this time we spend just 7 skill levels and get the shock enhancement and tenacity. Then the next ability is called the Heavenly Tune, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Agile Cast, 40, and Intense Tune. Then afterwards let's spend 10 more skill levels on the Sonic Vibration ability, and then select the Tenacity, Chain Vibration, and Wide Angle Attack. Then for the next ability we have the Guardian Tune, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Tenacity, Endless Protection, and Wind of Protection. Then for the 7th ability we have the Rhapsody of Light, and we spend 10 more skill levels and get the Quick Preparation, Stabilized Light, and Shining Protection. And then lastly we spend our last 7 levels on the March, and then we get the Cheerful March and the Impaired Mobility. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Symphonia, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 domination, and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this is your main PvP combo, and that's about it. So then moving over to the next class, which is the Sorceress PvP build, and these are the skills you want to have. And by the way, as this is a very new class, some ability names might be different than in the actual Lost Ark game. So if you see a difference, then just look at each ability's icon and pictures and they will be the same. So first of all, you want to spend 10 skill levels in the Inferno ability, and then select the Fault Acceleration, then the Flame Area and Firepower supplement. Then for the second ability we have the Lightning Funnel, and this time you can spend 7 skill levels and get the Inactivity and Wide Attack. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the Scourge, and we want to spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the Wide Attack, Inevitable Fate, and Arcane Genius. Then the next ability is called the Grand Tsunami, and we use 10 skill levels and get the Quickly Prepare, Extra Explosions, and Red Tsunami. Then for the fifth ability we have the Cold Call, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Select Chills, Imperfected Domination, and Survival of the Fittest. Then the next one is the Gust ability, and we spend another 10 skill levels and get the Mobilization of Forces, Lightning Tornado, and Light Wind. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Reverse Gravity, and this time we only spend 7 skill levels and get the Wide Attack and Lava Field. And then lastly we have the Elemental Reaction ability, and we spend our last 10 levels and get the Enchanted Penetration, Enchanted Attack, and Stable Crystal. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Enviscous Power, and for your stats you want to have 1 crit, 749 Specialization, and 500 Swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 main basic PvP combos, and that's about it. Okay, so now we have come to one of the last PvP builds, which is the best Shadowhunter build. and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all, you want to spend 10 levels in the demonic slash ability, and then select the excellent mobility, nimble movement, and chain charge. Then for the second ability, we have the rising claw, and this time we spend just 7 skill levels and get the naively honest and giant hand. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the piercing thorn, and we spend again 10 skill levels and unlock the enchanted strike, triple thorn, and massive thorns. Then the next ability is called the demon vision, and we spend 10 more skill levels and unlock the quick release, electric discharge, and instant discharge. Then for the fifth ability we have the grind chain, and we again want to use 10 levels and get the earth attack, impaired mobility, and chain attack. Then the next one is called the trust impact, and we spend 10 more skill levels, and this time we select the swift trust, enchanted explosion, and spectral explosion. Then for one of the last abilities we have the demonic clone, and we spend 10 skill levels and unlock the naively honest, fist of destruction, and encroachment discharge. And then for the last ability we have the sharpened cut, and we spend our last 7 skill levels and get the excellent mobility and infiltration attack. Then for your awakening skill you want to get the gate of eruption, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 316 domination, and 933 swiftness. And then on top of all this, these are your 2 basic PvP combos, and that's about it. And then for my last and final class we have the Deathblade PvP build, and these are the skills you want to have. So first of all you want to spend 10 skill levels in the surprise attack ability, and then select the wide angle attack, excellent mobility, and trailing sword burst. Then for the second ability we have the upper slash, and we want to spend another 10 levels and unlock the swift fingers, large twister, and tenacity. Then moving over to the third ability, which is the spin cutter, and this time we only spend 4 skill levels and get the swift fingers passive. Then the next ability is called the Moonlight Sonic, and we spend 10 more skill levels and select the Fist of Darkness, Sustain Enhancement, and Shade Sonic. Then for the fifth ability we have the Dark Axle, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Swift Fingers, Tenacity, and High Axle. Then the next one is called the Maelstrom, and we spend 10 more skill levels and select the Orb of Control, Dark Order, and Stabilized Energy. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Blitz Rush, and we spend 10 skill levels and get the Wide Angle Attack, All Around, and Shadow Rush. And then lastly we have the last 8th ability called the Headhunt, and we spend our last 10 skill levels and get the Quick Preparation, Quick Hunt, and Enhanced Stun. Then for your Awakening skill you want to get the Flash Blink, and for your combat stats you want to have 1 crit, 249 domination, and 1000 swiftness. And then on top of all this, this is your 2 main basic PvP combos, and that's about it. Okay, so now in this last part I wanted to give you very quick few tips and tricks that as a new player in Lost Ark PvP, they might help you to learn the game a lot faster. So as I've said, at the level 26 you will unlock the PvP arena, but I definitely don't recommend to use it till at least level 30, because at around level 30 you will unlock this music called the Song of Trixion. So again, the same way you unlock the arena by doing the main quest, you can unlock the song, which by clicking on your adventure icon and then click on the music tab. Here you will find all the songs that you have unlocked. So specifically to learn PvP or your build, you want to select the Song of Trixion and then click play, and in the next few seconds you will be teleported to the place called Trixion, or in basic translation this is the training ground where you can test out your builds and different skills. So the way you want to enter the training ground is to interact with the heart icon and then select the training and click OK. And now we are in the training zone, where in a simple summary on the right you can see all the specific settings, but most importantly you want to click on the training skill book, and very similar to the PvP Arena Fighter's Diary will open, so you again select the same abilities and points I told you for each class. And then lastly click on this Summon a Monster button, and now you can use the same PvP abilities on this monster to try out the basic PvP combos I explained for each build, or in general here is the best place to get used to the combat and your class before fighting the actual players. And then my last step is to go back to the arena, aka the Coliseum board, and I strongly recommend to play your first 20 to 30 games in this normal mode, because the ranked in this game is a lot harder and more try hard. So as a new PvP player, if you don't want to get right away to the lowest rank and you want to actually learn the PvP system without losing anything, so then for sure play only this normal mode till you win at least 50% of all of your games. And then when you're confident that you understand on what's going on in the game, then play the ranked mode, and that's about it. So with that said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other good PvP builds in Lost Ark, that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I'll catch you in my next video, so take it easy, peace.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.